Welcome back to season 2 of renovating the studio. Welcome back to the studio where we constantly change everything because I like to change my mind about things. Before I go into the changes that I have in mind, I was thinking of giving you guys a little bit of a tour so that you can see what I've been working with and why I want to change a few things. I do want to preface that the space is great as it is. I've been working in here fine. It's just after a couple weeks of working in the space, I realized that I think there's a couple things I could tweak to make things a little better, make things a little more efficient. So yeah, let me show you guys around. Okay, the entryway. Front doors are here. I'm sorry this is a bit backlit, but this is the best I could do to show you guys the space. I did put a little piece of fabric here. So with the entryway, I'm not actually going to change very much here this time. In the future, I do have plans to have sort of a storefront situation, like all of my finished pieces would go here, and people who want to visit and take a look at the space will just accommodate for them in this space. So right now I just have this thrifted table that you've seen me bring into the studio. I think this was the very first piece of furniture that came in here. I love it, it's staying, it's not moving. I still have the lace curtains that you've seen me bring from France. On the other side, I have this sort of like makeshift table situation. I'm using some like basic trellis legs and a couple of the wear boards that I have just to put on some of my glaze tests, and occasionally as well, because it's quite sunny here, I do leave some of my pieces to dry when I need to accelerate the drying process. And then right here I'm storing all of my clay bags for making pieces. And so when you walk into the space, this is kind of what you see. You have the big table, which is the production table that I work on, that I use for almost everything. And then the production shelf, IKEA Evar shelf. I have a whole episode if any of you are interested in how I stained it and such. But yeah, this is the shelf where everything goes. So like anything that is wet and waiting to dry, everything that I'm making goes here, everything that's waiting to go in the kiln goes here, everything that's finished as well goes here. So it's kind of like a mix of different types of work at different stages that all go into the shelf. And then I do also have some cupboards here where I'm storing tools and things that I don't want to have on view all the time. And I kind of wanted to give you guys this view because I kind of want you guys to see what it looks like when you're entering the space. You kind of have this table that's hiding a lot of the back and then a nice shelf. But I feel like it's kind of closing off the space. Behind the work table is my workstation. I have sort of this like bench situation that's sitting on a few bricks against the wall. And then usually I have my stool like that. It's a bit tall right now, I have to bring it lower. Across from the wheel, I have this wall with some bricks, and these are all the buckets that I use for reclaiming. I have my partner put these on wheels for me. He made these sort of boards that he put caster wheels on with some little ledges here on the side that fit my buckets perfectly. This is incredibly useful because a lot of these buckets are extremely heavy. Some of them are filled with water and I need to sometimes move them around the space. Having everything on wheels as much as possible, game changer. Do it. Just gonna save your back. This is the view that you probably don't see very often. I don't show you guys this area very much because it just doesn't look very nice. This is where my kiln is. We have the sink area, and then this is all of my raw material storage. So everything that I'm using for glaze materials. It's nice, it functions, it works, but I feel like this could be improved. I feel like I don't have enough shelving. I have kind of this empty space over here where it's unused. Most of the things are on the floor, so the top part isn't used, as well as this back side here. And so I think that the main problem that I have with how I've set up the studio currently is too many things are down on the ground, and I have really tall walls and ceilings, but I'm not using a lot of the vertical elevated space. Another thing that's been on my mind is that this space where I do most of the work is the darkest space in the studio. We have a window at the back and a door at the front. That's the brightest space. And I mainly sit here in the dark. I'm also lacking lighting. That's something I definitely need to upgrade. And so I am thinking of switching a few things around. I'm going to be moving the wheel. I'm going to be moving the shelf, this table, upgrading the storage a little bit, and just rejigging the layout of the space. After working in this space, I feel like I have a better understanding of where I need to move around. How does the light as well change in the space? I think the one takeaway that I've taken away from all of this renovation thing is that there are some things when you renovate that are going to not change and some things that will change. So everything that has to do with electrical, plumbing, even floors, floorboards, wall paints, windows, etc., that's like a forever decision. Everything else that can move around. And if you can, try to make decisions so that you can change them in the future, because you will change your mind. I was so convinced that I had the master plan in mind. I even went into the 3D software, I modeled everything, I did so many different versions, and now that I've been here maybe, 3-4 months working in here, nope, I'm changing as much as I can. And so, welcome to this fresh new season of upgrading the studio version 2.0. I hope you guys enjoy the coming episodes. Also, I'm holding a matcha drink that I put in a mason jar. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And yeah, I'll see you guys when some things have shifted around in the space.
Born over a fault line, bad teeth and worse habits, high heels in a trailer. If you want it, you should have it.
To keep things together, but coming at that from the perspective of color, not the.
I could ask your opinion. I could do 3 cupboards here. And then yes.
Simple observation
Good. That's good, isn't it?
of a time
He's so funny. Gosh, purple.
I get in my way. I get in my way. I get in my way.
Here it is.
I get in my way. I get in my way.
He did what? The bricks look kind of nice behind on the wall.
Glass of
Okay.
Pretty good idea. Pretty good idea. Season 5 returns to all of our work. Just gonna see. Get like. And it's still gonna be a second.
Good job.
Before it fastened.
Nice.
That level.
High five, baby.
Well, actually, we can hit which side.
I think this side should be the.
Yeah.
So I have a box of leftover tiles that I used on the sink kitchenette area, and I was thinking of using these as floorboards. So they would be going along the wall as so. I've already used these tiles along the foots of some of the columns around the space, and as well as by the door entryway, and it looks quite nice. I counted and I have just the exact amount that would fit the space. It would also allow to cover some of the electrical cable that's going along the wall from the new outlets that we've installed there, as well as the one that we've installed that way. And it's also great for when I'm mopping and cleaning. This is an area that's going to have a lot of clay being used, so it's really important that I'm able to mop without getting the wall paint wet. I have the glue part, the cement part, and I also have this that was gifted to me by my partner as my Christmas present last year. He found this tile cutter in a secondhand store, and for some reason he thought it was a great idea. And turns out it is a great idea. I don't know how he happened to find this, but I guess it's gonna come into use today to cut some of the tiles. As you can see, this one's a bit deeper here. Yeah, I think it makes it look way more elevated and clean. This is what I decided to do, so we could only get a square cut here. We had an extra one of this one. From far away, I guess it kind of looks a little playful. It's not the most professional, but it'll do. And so on this end right now, I'm deciding whether to leave this as is or to include this piece. I'm thinking of going with the piece. I got some new lights that are going up on the wall for the pottery wheel station. We're gonna have one going up around here that'll be able to swivel. And then we've got another one, oops, it's gonna go right around there. These are the lamps from Artemide. They're the Tolomeo design, and they're actually the lights that I used to have on my desk when I was a kid. And every time I do my homework, I would have this light on top of me. It was kind of like my homework work lamp. And I've always been really fond of it. I took a long time to decide whether I wanted to get them, just because I find them to be quite an investment, as most lamps are. But these are very timeless. I went with the mini size, so they have three sizes: the standard, the mini, and the micro. So this is the size in between. The standard's a bit bigger and the micro is obviously a little smaller. I think this is just about right. So we're gonna go put them up on the wall. Just
Yeah,
there?
that's just where it just goes to there. Actually, eventually it's drew like a big circle,
Yeah.
like this size.
Yeah. It works.
Cool.
Wow. Nice. So that's a warmer
Oh, okay.
light.
Clip after. So you kind of have a feeling for how much slack there is.
Animal, separate, howling, desperate to kiss the sky.